in Durban, first single Floor Assassins, and me and another crew member, Bizzo, we're also part of a crew in Cape Town called Concrete Apostles. And Concrete Apostles last year got an invite to attend Euro Battle in Portugal. So pretty much because we're part of the crew, the guys are like, hey, what's up? We have this invite, we're gonna go to Euro Battle. Are you guys down to go with us? And we're like, yeah, of course. So as soon as we heard about that, then me and Bizzo, we started doing what we could to actually try and save up some money so that we could go over and actually battle with them. Challenges wise, money is always a challenge. I know with me, I was a little bit lucky because I've actually been saving money for quite a while. I've actually been wanting to travel for like maybe the past 2-3 years now, so I've slowly just been saving a little bit of money where I could. I know Bizzo, he had a little bit of trouble, but what we were trying to do is where we could, we're really trying to put ourselves, kick it into gear, try and do like some shows, try and do some workshops in Durban, try to do a lot more classes. We also, where we could, we also got like some donations that actually helped out quite a bit. But other than money, I'd say that was probably the biggest issue. And visas. For South African people in general, it is insane. But other than that, once that was out the way, everything was perfect. I visited Spain, France, Switzerland, Austria, Germany, Denmark, Sweden, and Holland. About 4 years ago, I was an exchange student in New Zealand. So after my high school, I took a gap year because I still wasn't too sure what to actually study. So went overseas, and then I met also a lot of other exchange students, especially from Europe. So as soon as I came back home, you know, I still kept in contact with all those students. Then eventually when I heard, okay, cool, I'm actually going to be going to Portugal now, and I'm going to be in Europe. I got back in contact with all of those friends. I'm like, hey guys, I'm coming to Europe. And then all of them like, oh yeah, awesome, you're in Europe. Come stay by my place, come stay by my place. So I pretty much had a friend in like one city in each country. And that helped me with my travels quite a lot. So I pretty much just started from Spain and then visited one friend, next friend, next friend, next friend, next country, next country, next friend, next friend, next country, next country, next country. And what I was doing is I was meeting up with my friends and at the same time trying to meet up with breakers in each city as well. So it was a bit of business and pleasure. Small little adaptations here and there. Maybe let's say like they have like really awesome public transport systems, so things like that you had to get used to. Or maybe in each country, maybe the food that they eat would be a little bit different. Not very different, but sometimes a little bit different, so just had to get used to that. Language wasn't too much of a barrier. When I was in France, they do not speak much English, so their language was a big issue for me. But otherwise wasn't too much of a culture shock. Honestly, it's like what we do here is exactly what they do there. It's practically the same, really. It's hard to actually say just one country. I would say Spain was pretty awesome because I actually made a lot of friends. I actually made a lot of friends in Spain. So that's why it was a really good experience for me. If I went there by myself, then maybe not so much. Switzerland, I was in Zurich. Amazing city, amazing. I would definitely go back, definitely one of my favorites. So it's between Switzerland and Germany, I would say. I actually had like a really good time. Also, I mean, the people there were like really great, really friendly, very welcoming people, and especially the break dancers there. Like they both have very good B-boy communities, and the break dancers are very good and very welcoming. As soon as like, hey, what's up? I'm from South Africa. Wow, South Africa, what? What are you doing here? And they just want to get to know you, which actually made me feel really good. But when I left, like, oh man, come back, you're always welcome here. So I'm definitely going to visit those two places, Switzerland and Germany. I actually missed most of the events. I actually timed it really bad and actually missed most of the big events. When I was in Zurich, though, I was lucky enough, I actually competed in a local event they were having called the HD Ready, or High Definition Ready Battle. That was actually quite an awesome one. Like a nice, just small, like local jam. Also, when I was in Cologne, in Germany, they also had like a local jam at the local practice area. The kids that they teach, they actually just between themselves, they just went to just put together like a little jam. Like every weekend, there's like a jam. But they had the Europe 5 vs 5 in Switzerland. BC, they had the BC Cypher qualifier. Jeez, what else? Quite a few actually. I actually missed most of them, which is actually like terrible. I had freestyle sessions in Switzerland as well, which was awesome. Missed that, unfortunately. Had BC1 Scandinavia, missed that, unfortunately. So one thing that's like, I would say is really different between South Africa and like Europe, so to say. They always having competitions, they're always having jams, they're always having events. Like maybe one weekend, they're probably like, or not even one weekend, maybe on like one day, on a Saturday, there'll be about 5 different events in like one in each country, and you don't know which one to go to. Whereas like, I know in our city, Durban, we might have like 2 or 3 jams the entire year. So it's like completely different, and I actually think it's much better. And especially the facilities they have for the breakers, they'll have rooms that are open all day, every day. So for breaker, being there is like perfect. Because I can talk about parties, but I'm like, where is that gonna fit in?
Yeah.
We might get some comedy out of it.
Okay, it's an idea.
But actually, I'd say stay on breaking. That's it.
We can come back to that one. I wouldn't mind talking about that one. Dude, Austrians know how to party. Yo. Okay, so maybe I'd also say because I feel it's a lot bigger overseas in Europe. It's a lot more developed. There are also a lot more people doing it. A lot more events, a lot more jams. So for you to actually know what you're doing and for you to actually be perfecting what you're doing is actually much more important. I mean, for here in South Africa, there's so many people who have like taught themselves, but we have to rely on videos, watching videos, or trying to get like online tutorials to try and actually learn. Whereas overseas, most of the best guys are like in Europe, and they're always in workshops all over the place. So then it's actually a lot easier for them to also learn from other people and also to learn the correct way. I know a lot of people in South Africa learn the incorrect way. I even learned the incorrect way. I started with power because to me, well, our understanding was whoever can do the most flares, the most windmills, the most headspins was the best b-boy. And only maybe about 4 or 5 years later, we then understood style. And we're like, what is style? And then we literally had to go all the way back to basics and learn top rocks and footwork and foundation. Whereas in Europe, they start with all of that. They start with the footwork, they start with the top rocks, they start with the foundation, they start with battle character. So for them, they actually know exactly what they're doing, whereas with us, we kind of got to figure it out along the way. So definitely their understanding of breaking is completely different to us, completely. And I also feel because they have so much like a bigger community, that also definitely plays a bigger part in it. You know, each one teach one. Because there's so many people that can each share each other's possibilities and ideas and what breaking's about. And that in turn changes the whole community and that pushes everyone forward a bit. Whereas South Africa, we kind of figured it out a little bit. Makes you think of like Trevor Noah, how he said, you know, the world's going this way, but South Africa, we'll go this way and we'll meet you there. Oh, it's changed a lot. It's changed a lot. Especially every time I was like meeting some breakers in each city, I'd also talk to them and try and like understand, okay, what is your understanding of breaking? How do you see it? How would you judge this? And just talking to them and also, you know, just being around them and just hearing like their wisdom and what they have to say definitely started changing the way like I understand, the way I think, even the way they train. I mean, we train like back home, I'd probably train maybe only like 3 times a week or so, just because mainly I don't always have access to like a studio where they have access all the time. So they'll train every single day for like 3 hours every day. Maybe this day they'll just do footwork, and this day they'll do foundation, and this day they'll do power. And just the way they think and the way they train and their understanding like changed the way I think about it completely. So I'm actually quite eager and excited now to start doing some more jams this side and to actually share what I've learned just to see how people react. First time I actually heard about the hour system was from R16 because we always pretty much trying to keep up to date with events that are going on, and especially when as R16 was coming up, they're like, okay, we have this new judging system, so we pretty much try to research that a little bit, especially watching a lot of videos and clips and reviews of Dizzy speaking about the hour system. And honestly, from what I can see, I actually think it works because as Dizzy said, you know, if let's say someone loses, let's say in a boxing match or something, you can actually say why the person actually won, because he did this, and that. Here in South Africa, we need something like that where it's sort of like, okay, if you want to beat this guy, you need to do this. Be on point, have confidence, have good execution, have good technicality, have good originality. Whereas you can actually say, if you do these things, okay, you're gonna win. Whereas most people here, most judges, they're just looking at their favorites, or they're just looking at, okay, cool, this guy did some really big moves, he did some air flares, okay, that guy did some footwork, nah, this is better, I prefer this guy. And not really looking at what the people are doing. Especially now, since breaking's changing so much, you probably get like two people who could do a very small move, but the way they do it's very original, it's very smooth, it's very flowy, and that actually counts more. But a lot of the judges here, a lot of people in general in South Africa, because we just don't know, because we haven't been taught that, we sort of overlook these things. And a lot of people, like what I did, they first try and go to all the big moves first because they think that's better, and then they have to realize, oh wait, we're missing all these small little details. So for me, I actually think the our system really works, mainly because it has these set rules. This is what it's about, and also makes it interesting now, because especially if you verse someone who has really good high energetic technical power and someone who has very good technical footwork, you can actually match them up and they could actually have a very good battle. It's not just going to be like, oh no, he's in power, it's harder, he wins. It's like you can actually match them up between their moves and also someone else's character and battle strategy. So I think it'll be quite interesting to try it out this side and see how it goes. Honestly, I think it's about time we need a new judging system. So it'll be quite interesting to see if that's applied in South Africa, how that's going to work. I think we need to focus on being a little bit more all-rounded. A lot of guys who just focus, like South Africa is known. One thing I noticed when I was actually overseas, a lot of people are like, oh, he's from South Africa. Like, so many like power B-boys there. Like, that's all anyone knows about South Africa is B-boys who just do power. The thing is, we also have our style cats, but not a lot of people focus on that. As I said, people get blinded and they start seeing all these big moves and then they just want to go straight to that. And not a lot of people are working on, let's say, the overall picture. Even me sometimes, I'll be honest, because I'm only like recently realized it because we didn't know, no one taught us. We had to like go out and talk to people and then we're like, oh wow, I didn't realize that. Oh wow, I didn't realize that. So also like things like battle strategy, even like having like a character, like when you battle, having like an overall presence. As soon as you step out into the stage, okay, cool, you need to have like this character and like this presence about yourself. Most people always just focus on the big moves. They don't really focus on also the little details, the little foundation moves, the way they start, the way they finish. So I just think breakers just need to be a little bit more all-rounded. But then again, for some people it just works for them for just being doing power and just doing footwork. But yeah, if it works for you, it works for you. But I think we need more rounded breakers. One thing I did notice though is the B-boy communities are a lot closer that side. Like especially, I mean, like I noticed when I was in Switzerland and Germany, if you like at a practice venue and you're in a room, if it's a small room, if it's a big room, if there are 10 people, if there are 50 people, whenever like someone comes into the room, they'll walk around and they'll greet every single person in that room, whether they know that person or not, just because you're there to break and you're all sharing like the same passion. So it's like a real like actual community. And especially when I tell people, oh, I'm from B-boy from South Africa, oh wow, they just wanted to get to know me and more about South Africa. Whereas sometimes you might be like, oh hey, what's up, I'm from Durban. Oh, okay, cool, Durban, yeah, nice place, got a nice beach, cool, rad. So I found breakers there were a lot more open, a lot more open-minded, to new cultures, especially when someone's from a new culture, they just want to learn more about that culture, especially in breaking, they'll learn more about new styles, and they're also eager to teach as well. Some people here can be a little bit more like, nope, I'm gonna keep it, it's my style, it's my stuff, I don't want to teach. And then you get some people who try and expand and teach, but it's tough, but it's hard. So I definitely enjoy the B-boy community overseas, definitely gonna go back there as well at some stage just to see everybody again. Portugal, definitely, again. Brazil, have to visit Brazil, have way too many friends in Brazil. And maybe Greece as well, probably check out Greece, probably say between those three, because I have some good friends there and some good breakers outside as well that way. So I just want to give a shout out to Floor Assassins and to Concrete Apostles from South Africa, and I want to give a shout out to Certified Funk TV. Stay tuned, these guys are doing like a great job for South Africa and South African content in breaking and video. What? Okay, Krazy Kayzo, we out.